So Shield is basically a shadow AI firewall. So with this, basically it's a Docker instance, so you have complete data sovereignty. We have no access into it whatsoever. We just get information about obviously the subscriptions for subscriptions to the software. But the way this works is there's a Chromium extension. So with that Chromium extension, it basically you send it out to all your browsers. It'll work with anything other than Safari pretty much. And then if you're doing any type of, non-browser AI work, like you're using Claude's, native operating system or FAT client, shall we say, we have agents that'll allow us to pick up on that. And so once you deploy, then we have this AI service catalog. So the service catalog basically allows IT to describe what areas are sanctioned or what AI systems are sanctioned, which ones are not, and they can actively allow, block, or monitor. You can also add services. But one of the things that we definitely wanted to include was, everyone and their brother now has AI built into their software. So having the knowledge of being able to leverage the data loss prevention rules across everything that the browser's doing was very valuable. So you can see here, you just click this on or off to get access to that. And then what we have on the other side from a data loss prevention side, so you can see there's a bunch of basically data loss prevention rules. You define the disposition, whether you want to log, prompt, or block. You can override for certain domains if you want to. So let's say, for example, you're inputting a lot of uh, credit cards or social security numbers into something like Salesforce. You could override it with Salesforce. These are completely configurable. They're regular expressions. Wherever possible, we did try to implement things to mitigate false positives. So, for example, credit cards, they have to match a certain format, things of that nature. And also, you have the ability to create your own rules. And so, once you have that deployed, from an operator's perspective, if you were going to be using Shield's interface, this would be your interface, and so you can see basically, where the majority of the violations and overall data flows are coming in from. And if we look at, for example, here's social security numbers that got transmitted. And so here we're able to set the dispositions, so on and so forth. One other thing I'd highlight is you can see the amount of telemetry we're trying to get about on the endpoint. So the host name, the username, internal and external IP addresses, because maybe someone at their house, they may be at Starbucks, and so we wanted to have as much telemetry there as possible. With that being said, I would say the majority of our customers have some type of SIM or SOC that they're integrating with. So there's the capability of using these connectors. So we have in this instance 12 different connectors. So you can see lots of different ticketing systems and things of that nature. You'll see in the larger instance, we have about 36 different connectors. If there's one in here that you needed access to easily, it's easy for us to transition it over. And then the other thing is I wanted to highlight that we're doing 15-day trials. So if you go to CinderLabs and hit this 15-day trial, all you have to do is load it up. Basically fill this out. It'll instantly give you access for 15 days. Again, it runs on a Docker container, so you could run this on your local laptop or the like. But that being said, I want to show you what the prompting looks like. So here, if I'm in ChatGPT, it comes up and basically I have it prompting for social security numbers. So I could either block and drop, or I could have it over, or basically if I wanted the customer to, override, then they can come in here and describe why they want the override. And you can see one of the things we found really valuable, and the people we've been working with have been finding a lot of value in, is a lot of organizations are still trying to figure out the ways in which they can use AI to improve their business. And so being able to get this insight from the end users as far as what they were doing inside of this that would cause this override makes it to where, it may be a valid work use case that you may want to reach out to the business unit for or something of that nature.